إذا مشاهدينا بنرحب فيكم من جديد. رح ننتقل إلى تاريخ وتراث رومانيا يلي بيعودوا إلى العصور القديمة وبيشملوا تأثيرات ثقافية من الإمبراطوريات الرومانية والعثمانية والنمساوية، وبالكثير من الأوقات بنلتمس هالأمر عند الجالية الرومانية بالإمارات يلي تقدر بحوالي 9000 شخص.
طبعا اللقاء الذي أجرته الزميلة هالة بو علوان مع سعادة اوكتافيان باديكا سفير رومانيا لدى دولة الإمارات ضمن فقرة موطن، الحلم، والإنجاز تناول مجالات التعاون بين دولة الإمارات ورومانيا، ويشمل خاصة استثمار دي بي وورد في الموانئ الرومانية ومجال تبادل التراث الثقافي. نتابع.
بيسعدنا أن يكون معنا اليوم سعادة اوكتافيان باديكا سفير جمهورية رومانيا لدى دولة الإمارات. Good morning, Your Excellency, and great to have you here today.
Good morning, and thank you so much for the kind invitation to join you today.
Likewise, Your Excellency, finance, investment, healthcare, this is a cocktail mix of your background. So for people, I think, who are not aware what diplomatic positions and titles and requires might feel how this fits this. And at the same time, I think coming from a diverse background and completely different can add lots of value. How does your background actually empowers your current position?
Well, I believe ambassadors should be people that are very well into many industries and skills. I come from the private sector as a background. I have finished business administration in my studies and Arabic language, which is a bit less known to.
So you speak Arabic?
Just a little.
Okay,
just شوي. I studied culture and some language. And as you said, I have focused on the business side, on the healthcare in the Central and Eastern Europe, and consider this to be very advisable for our ambassador here in the United Arab Emirates, which is a very dynamic place, a very dynamic and fast-pacing place.
Yeah, mentioning dynamics, I'm sure like one of the things which you cared about most when you arrived is knowing your community. Romanian community, where they aspire, what interests them, where they like the line of business. Tell us more about this community.
Well, the United Arab Emirates are very popular among Romanians, and also we have let's say sizable community here. I have just looked at the official numbers that as we are organizing polling stations for the European parliamentary elections on the 9th of June now, and our community is about 9,000 people. It's a very diverse community, and without official numbers, I would say that most of them are probably here since the early 2000s or early 2010s. So they have at least on average 10 years being spent in the UAE, contributing to the development of the country and the cities here. For example, I know architects, I know engineers, I know artists that I hear, and also we have a sizable community of engineers that work in the Barakan nuclear power plant. I think there are about at least 100 Romanians over there.
Interesting. And so this also goes, I think, the success of this community, the success of making them feel at home here and giving back to the community as well, being thriving and where they are, I think goes back also to the diplomatic relations and the depth of this diplomatic relations, which I guess you were telling me goes back to the 90s, where the Romanian embassy was inaugurated here in the UAE, and later I think the UAE opened later, the embassy later, and but you mentioned it goes way before that to the 70s as well, these relations. Also, if you can share with us insights on that.
True. So I would say the first links between Romania and the UAE started somewhere in the late 1970s, if I recall correctly, reading somewhere, with a trade promotion office. So there was a Romanian trade promotion office in Dubai, probably very early on, and was based here and was staffed with people ever since then. As time went by, a relationship advanced, and then in 1991, the embassy was opened in Abu Dhabi, and then in 1992 there was the consulate general in Dubai, and ever since then we are present and growing here.
Impressive. Your Excellency, cultural exchange. When we talk about Romania, I think because your country passed through different eras, whether Romans or Greeks or Ottoman or Austro-Hungarian and many more, it had the stamp on the buildings, the landscape, the city, the culture. How this beautiful combination can be translated here in this country? How do you do this cultural exchange, and also from UAE to Romania?
Well, it's as you say, it's fascinating because if we consider, the UAE as a hub for, a global route for trade and for everything, Romania was on the route of many empires throughout history. Yes. We can think about the Romans, we can think about the Ottomans, the Austro-Hungarians. Yes. They have many of the things, and it was of particular interest to many of them. So this means we got many influences. Culture is very vast in Romania, whether we talk about arts, paintings, music, folklore, and it's very geographically diverse. If we look at the north of Romania and the south, you have many differences in terms of folklore. What we are trying to do here, and what we've done last year, we had some painters coming in the various festivals of Dubai to showcase some of their work, maybe with a touch of more Romanian elements to their work. And then we are also discussing actually the ministries are discussing of culture on how to have a collaboration in terms of classical music. Mm-hmm. And one very interesting fact is that the Romanian National Music Service has one of the largest collections of recorded classical music concerts in the world. So it's like this jewel that can be shared and that needs to be taken on by people.
Yeah. Actually, I have a small question. Do you really have a palace in Romania which is associated with Dracula?
I think this is one of the very famous brands that we have in Romania. And the interesting fact is that Dracula is a lot more popular outside of Romania than in Romania.
But there is a palace.
There is a palace. There is Bran Palace, which is about 100 kilometers away of Bucharest, which is very beautiful to visit, by the way. And people inside Romania know the story about a ruler in the 1400s. Mm-hmm. It's quite a story, and it's not necessarily related to Dracula, but there is, in myth there is always some reality.
Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of something when you mentioned, and I think we didn't touch base on that, when you mentioned trading. There's a nice actually insight you gave me before we started recording about DP World and agriculture, which goes back in history between both countries.
Very early on. Just yesterday in Constanța port in Romania, there was a celebration. 20 years since DP World invested in the port in Romania there. That was actually the first investment of DP World outside of the UAE. So if I may say, this is how the story of expansion started, and how it enabled it to now be one of the top global players. This on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's true there is Al-Dahra, which currently leases one of the largest single plots of agricultural land in Europe, in Romania, in a place called Insula Marea Brăilei, and it's been there for 10 years, and many more to come. So our relations are very tight, let's say, on key and strategic fields.
Yeah, and many more to come, as you mentioned. As a wrap-up of our conversation, for viewers watching us now and we want to tighten more the relations between both countries and see you as a national who is giving them a touristic guide or insights of the country. What are the 3 tips you advise if I want to go to Romania? What are the 3 tips to watch for, look forward for?
Okay, this is challenging with just 3, but I will give them a personal note.
Yes.
So, for example, Romania, in my opinion, is very beautiful in the spring and in the autumn. Why? It's because in the spring everything blooms and is green. You simply feel that the whole place comes to life. Yeah. And then in the autumn you have everything turning yellow and orange, which gives this amazing painting of what you see. So I guess choosing the timing on where to go, of course it's everyone's preference. They can even go skiing in December, for example, but mine would be spring.
So we advise everyone to, I think, prioritize those seasons, but still go.
Definitely to have some snow, to have some cold weather, and summer is very good. We're also fortunate to have the sea. We have mountains and sea in Romania, so we were blessed. The other point I would make is for nature and for heritage. So to visit the countryside. Yeah. Because we still have much pristine countryside, whether we talk about the north, whether we talk about Transylvania, and we have all of these wonderful villages full of people that are very welcoming, that are willing to take people into their houses and just show them traditions, show them around the village. And thirdly, well, I'm a foodie, so I have to say about the food in Romania to do the most in trying out everything.
Amazing, wonderful, Your Excellency Oktavien Bádika. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.